What's wrong? I have to tell you that any stock you invest in has risk, and so I think everybody needs to understand what those risks are. At KMP, at the Kinder Morgan companies, we operate over 75,000 miles of regulated pipeline, and a large portion of those pipelines are subject to either state or federal regulation. And so from time to time, we have rate cases on those pipelines that can result in lower rates. You always have the potential for unexpected policy changes coming out of the regulatory agencies. As I mentioned on our CO2 segment, we have both exposure to oil production volumes and to crude oil price. But, when you're talking about tertiary recovery, you don't have the same volatility that you do in primary production, because all you're trying to do is you've got a tail on that oil field, and you're just trying to extend that tail out for a longer period of time. So when we talk about there could be some variability in our oil production volumes, what we're talking about is, 5 to 10% in terms of variability on those oil production volumes. We're not talking about, this could swing 25 or 30% on you. And then with respect to crude oil, as I mentioned, we aggressively hedged that position. And in 2012, our sensitivity was about $5.8 million of DCF per dollar change in the price of crude. And that has been consistent for the last number of years. Once we get into a year, that's been generally about our sensitivity. We have some economically sensitive businesses, primarily in our terminals. And then we've got environmental and terrorism risk. That's largely a reputational risk because we do carry insurance for those. And then on interest rates, we have some floating rate debt, primarily at KMP and at KMI. EPB is largely fixed rate debt.